All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, daily streams buzzing. It's that time of the year where matches come thick and fast, and there's news happening on a regular basis. So there's a lot to talk about. If you guys have missed out on the stream yesterday, I talked about Federico Chiesa, whether some of these links, is it true? Talked about Juventus, how they're in a bit of a mud and they could possibly be forced to sell some of their players. And funnily enough, we talked about all of that, especially about the Chiesa links to Chelsea. And since then, there's been a lot of talks about Chiesa. Fabrizio Romano has come out and said a few things, and which we'll touch on. And then on top of that, yesterday's stream, we talked about who could Chiesa possibly replace. And you guys were saying most likely Timo Werner. And since then, there's been a lot of talk about Timo Werner as well, especially from Matt Law in London is Blue podcast. I believe that's the podcast. So we're going to discuss that. And also, most importantly, in the second half of this podcast, probably in the, say around 30 minutes mark, in the final half an hour, we will definitely talk about the whole Christensen situation, Andreas Christensen, the contract situation. Thomas Tuchel apparently is punishing, Christensen. We were wondering, how come Christensen's not played for the past 3 games? That's very unlike the current situation. Silva has been playing, 3 matches in the space of like 8 days, which is mad. He's never done, I don't think he's ever done that for Chelsea. So we now have a reason as to why. So we're going to talk about that in detail, how I feel about the situation. I want to know how you feel about the situation with Christensen. Looks like he's stalling and he's testing the waters out. And I don't think Thomas Tuchel is appreciating this. And also Chelsea is not appreciating it. But we're going to talk about all of that in detail. But before we do all of that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Quite a few people on already. Smash the like button straight away. I can see Kunal saying, Kunal, up and early for this one. Thank you so much, my man, for joining. Frederick, big up, Miz. Thank you so much for joining. Abhinav is here as well. Thank you, my man, for joining. Thank you for interacting as well, each and every one of you guys, to my videos. I see a lot of your comments in there, so I do appreciate each and every one of you guys always commenting. We've got Horizont here. We've got Shubhajoyti as well. Shubhajoyti, another one, top supporter of the channel and constantly commenting on the video. So really appreciate that. Aka, good to see you, my man. It's been a while. Thank you so much for joining. We've got Digital Films Review. Big up, Miz. Good to see you as well. Trainer Losia, I love Chelsea. Really, really good to see you, my man. We've got Varun Bakshi. Thank you so much for joining, my man. Hey, Miz, hope you're doing well. Yeah, man, not bad at all. And on top of that, it's match day. So we've got the watch along as well later down the track. So make sure you tune in for that. So 100% very, very happy. So many matches coming left, right, and center. It's going to be exciting. Luke, thank you so much for joining. Luke Mudway is here. Thank you heaps, guys. Whilst you're coming in, smash the like button. Get those likes up to well over 20 straight away. Only 8 likes to get to 20. Let's get those likes up to 20 straight away, and we keep building it as we go along. We've got quite a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to break it up into first half an hour and second half an hour. Try and wrap things up within an hour. First hour, we want to talk about Timo Werner and Chiesa. Second half an hour, we want to talk about Christensen and a little bit of Rudiger as well. So it'll be quite interesting. Velko, I hope I've pronounced this right. Thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow is match day for us, Aussie lads. Yeah, it is tomorrow. That's match day for us. But for everyone else, it's tonight, to be honest. So it is what it is. Shubhajoti is saying the love and support you got, you deserve it, Miz. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you. Much appreciated. Okay, let's get this show rock and rolling. First thing we want to talk about is this whole Timo Werner situation. Timo Werner could leave Chelsea next summer. There's chances he could leave. Dortmund and Bayern Munich could be interested in his services. Matt Law on London is Blue podcast. Now, I want to bring up a particular clip, which is straight from London is Blue podcast, where they actually talk about this. It's a short clip, pretty much talking about this particular tweet, but I'll play that for you guys so you get a bit of a understanding straight from Matt Law, I suppose.
Oh,
You don't see it now.
Well, I mean, yeah, the whole attack and when he went down Lukaku, we were trying all these different things. We've seen Kai and some stuff, but obviously yesterday wasn't quite ideal. I remember last season, he was providing the assists. He was the assist maker, playing as one of the attackers, not necessarily the striker. We'll have to kind of see. Could it be? I mean, is there any chance that he's leaving? I mean, anytime soon? Do you think Chelsea are going to look at his value and be like, ooh, do we cash in now before maybe one more season will really tank his value?
I think there'll be a chance at the end of the season that he does leave. And I think for both parties, like you say, I think that Chelsea have got to be wary of the fact that the further he falls into the pack, the more it will impact his value. Albeit they got him on a decent deal because of the release clause, but so they wouldn't be looking for ridiculous money for him, I don't think. But yeah, they've got to be wary of his value. And also from his perspective, I would imagine once he falls back into the pack, he is a German international. He did come to play as the first choice striker, which he's been given plenty of chances to. But I suspect Timo himself might start to think about it in the summer as well. So we're a long way out, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if at the end of this season Timo leaves.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Timo Werner on the verge. Well, not on the verge. Basically, Matt Law is thinking that there is a high possibility that Timo Werner could leave. And in all honesty, when you think about it deeply, and Matt Law talks about a lot of other facets. Obviously, go out and check out this particular podcast, London is Blue podcast. Matt Law talks about how it's been 18 months. Timo Werner has been playing for Chelsea for almost 18 months, and there hasn't been any improvement. We are still seeing what we've always seen and what we've already seen with Timo Werner. Everything that we sort of saw last season and some of the things that annoyed us was, of course, his finishing, his first touch, sometimes his decision-making, and yeah, just the fact that at times it's just everything, like his dribbling lets him down as well. He's not a good dribbler. And we thought, fine, you know what? It's the first season. It's about adaptation. Let him sort of adapt and we'll see what happens. And then this season starts. And as soon as Lukaku comes in, obviously he doesn't see much minutes. Then he got himself injured. But the few bits and pieces in between where he was playing, he didn't show any sign of fixing some of those issues that we had last season. It all seems like the same thing over and over again. And it's got to a point where I even said last weekend, or the last match against Man United, that I don't know if Timo Werner is going to change. I'm not sure if he's actually going to change as a footballer. I think this is it. Because if we sort of believed that he was going to change, we would have seen certain parts of his games develop. I'm not saying drastic changes, but maybe his control gets better. Maybe his finishing gets slightly better. But it's not the case. That's simply not the case. So this is what Matt Law was also saying, that I think it's in the best interest for the player and for the club. And I want to show you why for the club, because at the end of the day, if we want to sell Timo, it's probably going to be now. Because if his contract keeps reducing down, we're going to start losing value. And in all honesty, it's not like we're gonna miss out on a lot of cash on him, but because we got him for fairly an okayish price, I think about 50 million euros or 50 million pounds. So that's not a bad that's not a huge sum of money that we paid for him because of the release clause. We got in there quickly. So if we can get some sort of return back, and it doesn't have to be 50 million pounds, somewhere sort of close to, let's say, 35, 40 million. Why not? Why not, I say? And as I said, it's probably at the best interest for the club and for the player. The player simply doesn't cut it at Chelsea. He simply does not cut it at Chelsea. And it's rumored that possibly Dortmund or Bayern Munich could be after him. And the reason being, there could be a big shift in striker situation next summer. All of this won't happen in January. It's too big for it to happen in January. But next summer, players like Erling Haaland will possibly leave Dortmund because his release clause comes to an end. So once he leaves, there's going to be a trickle effect. There's going to be a need for a striker. So Dortmund is linked with Timo Werner. Lewandowski, and this is what Matt Law was saying as well, some of the inside sources have been saying that Lewandowski is very keen to leave Bayern Munich at the end of this season because he's done it all. He's looking for a new challenge, and there's strong rumors that he could possibly move on. So then there's that opportunity at Bayern Munich as well. And knowing Nagelsmann's there, who is Timo Werner's ex-manager, that completely makes sense. And you know what? If it's Dortmund and the money they're going to get with Haaland, I'm pretty sure, someone like Marina could do a madness and get some sort of good amount of money for us. So it might be a good situation for both, as I said, for both parties. Let's just bring on this particular stats page now. Let's have a look at how much time he's got left in his contract. So he's 25. Let me just increase that a little bit more. He's 25. March 6, 1996. So next year, March, he's going to be 26. And his contract expires in 2025. So at the end of this season, there'll be 3 more seasons left. Yeah, there'll be 3 more seasons left. So we should be able to get a good value for Timo Werner, in all honesty. And it may be a good time to let go. And he probably understands himself that he probably doesn't cut it as well in the Premier League. And there's just a lot of competition. Lukaku, Kai Havertz, Pulisic, Mason Mount. And he's probably come to a realization as well that he's better off. He's a German international. He can't be benched. He needs to play on a regular basis. And it's probably for his own good to go back to Germany and ball out. He was balling out over there. In Germany, the amount of space is unbelievable, right? He's going to love it. He's going to love all that room to do madness. Let's have a look at his stats since he started for Chelsea. This is where it gets a bit crazy. Let's have a look at last season. Oh no, what's going on? Finally. Thought I lost my internet. Okay, last season. 52 games all up, 12 goals, 15 assists. 15 assists is fantastic, but 12 goals, he's really brought in for the goals. 35 matches in the Premier League, 6 goals, 12 assists. 6 is probably not a good return for a striker. And let's face it, he's more or less a striker. He's either a second striker or a striker. I don't think he's an out-and-out winger. You can call him as an inside forward, maybe. In the Champions League, 12 games, 4 goals, 2 assists. As I said, 12 goals, 52 matches, 15 assists. This year, this season, 12 matches, featured in 12 matches, 3 goals, 1 assist. So all up in how many matches have we got now? 12 plus 52. So what's that? 64 matches, and we've got about 15 goals. 64 matches, 15 goals, and 15 plus how many assists has he got? 64 matches, 15 goals, and 16 assists. It's just not good enough, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not good enough. So, as I said, sometimes you just need to know when to let go and when a particular transfer has not worked out. You just need to know when to cut your losses and move on. And this is probably the time that you need to do that. Let me read some of your comments now. Meanwhile, smash the like button, guys. We've got over 60 people. Let's get the likes up to 40 straight away. 15 likes away from 40 likes. Let's get those likes up. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. I'm going to check out some of your comments now about this particular matter. And then we're going to go towards the Chiesa case, because I sincerely think Timo Werner is going to leave at the end of this season. This season will probably be his last one. He'll barely get to be playing on a consistent basis for Chelsea, because you've got Romelu Lukaku, you've got Havertz, as I said, you've got Pulisic, Cho, Ziyech, Mount. Hell of a lot of competition. He's not going to get that regular game time that he wants or that he desires. And this scenario makes complete sense to me. Matt Law is saying that there's a high probability that he's probably going to go. Let's have a look at what you guys have to say. 11 more likes until we get to 40. Let's get to 40 likes straight away, guys. The Undertaker is here. Big up, Miz. Thank you so much, my man. Vernon is here. Big up, my G. Good to see you. I've seen reports Chiesa deal will be done in Jan. Yeah, look, we're going to talk about Chiesa next up, so hang in there. Aka, 270k a week, it's a robbery. And that as well, on top of all the stuff we've said. The fact that he's not a prolific striker. The fact that he's got deficiency in his first touch, his decision-making, his dribbling. And on top of that, he's collecting 270k a week. This is why when we talk about Christensen down the track, it's very important how we manage our wage structure. It is so, so important. We thought, someone like Timo Werner was going to be a baller for us. I guess that's probably why. The amount of goals he banged in Bundesliga earned him that money over here. He demanded that kind of a salary, I suppose. And we got him for fairly cheap, 50 million pounds. So, for a top quality striker, and at that time, Timo Werner, for the numbers he was doing in the Bundesliga, he was deemed to be a top quality striker. So we managed to give him more wages because the transfer fee was less. Vernon is saying, so sad to see things doesn't work out for Werner. I had big expectations for him, but enough is enough. Yeah, enough is enough. We, as Chelsea Football Club, need better. Need absolutely better. We can't be harboring these players. The return, 64 matches, 15 goals, and 16 assists. I thank him for the assist, but he's not brought in for the assist. So put it that way. Aka, I bet all those assists were a low cross into the box, nothing special. Yeah, no, they're not like line-breaking stuff either. Into the box and recovering. Look, I don't want to take anything away from those assists. It is what it is. But you're right. It's not like a Cesc Fabregas kind of assist. For him, not a great return, to be honest. Let me know if you guys are okay with Timo Werner leaving as well. Like, do you think it's the right time for both parties, Chelsea and Timo, to part ways? I want to see what you guys have to say as well. Roby, if Werner cannot improve, he has to go because he is taking space for someone like Broha, who is pretty much the same kind of player. Yeah, absolutely. And Broha, I like Broha. And he's young as well, so you can develop him. From what I've seen so far of Broha, in whether it be for Southampton, whether it be for Chelsea, whether it even be for Albania, he looks good. He just needs to be polished, and in time, I think he's going to be a very, very good player. The Undertaker. When Werner goes, can we give Rudy what he wants? Look, I wish it worked like that. I wish finances work like that. We let one go. Can we use that money and give it to Rudy? Just doesn't work like that, my man. He's right. Let Lukaku go. Aloisi, good to see you, my man. If Werner goes, we need another pacey forward, or else we won't be able to beat Man City or Liverpool. And this is why Chiesa comes into the frame. and I'll get to the Chiesa bit. I've got a clip from Fabrizio Romano, and I think that will be quite interesting into the whole scheme of things as to what is probably happening around here. But before we get into the Chiesa clip, guys, 10 more likes to get to 40, and then after that, let's chase for 50. Let's get the likes up to 40 straight away, ladies and gentlemen, and then we can start playing the Chiesa clip from Fabrizio Romano. Werner for Chiesa would be a good move. Nathan Kibet, thank you so much for the comment. Aluvra, Chelsea should always look to improve the squad. Replacing Werner is not hard. Also, money is not a problem. Kunal, Werner can leave with his head high, though. Played a major role in the Champions League run, and in part was the reason we looked deadly in transition. He has his issues. He has his uses, not starting quality for Chelsea. Absolutely right. Look, at the end of the day, he can hold his head high and leave because you're a Champions League winner, my man. I don't know if you're going to win the Champions League again. I mean, unless you go to Bayern Munich. But if you go to Dortmund, highly doubt you're going to win the Champions League again. So, yeah, you can definitely hold your head high. And you don't know what madness we could be capable of this season. So, you know, you've already got the Super Cup under your belt and you featured in that particular match. You know, Club World Cup. Hopefully, you get those honors as well. Maybe another domestic cup, perhaps. And in the Premier League, if we end up winning, you never know. You never know. Pri, love you, miss. Thank you so much, Pri. Really, really good to see you, my man. To each and every one of you guys, share this particular stream with all your socials out there, whether it be in Facebook, whether it be in Twitter, Instagram. Share the link everywhere so more fans can come in if you're enjoying it. And we're only 8 likes away from 40 likes. So let's get the likes up to 40 straight away. Okay. Let's now look into the clip for Fabrizio Romano. Give me 1 second. I think this is it. That's not the one. This is the clip from Fabrizio Romano in regards to Chiesa.
Clarify something about Chiesa.
Yes, because we had rumors on Federico Chiesa, and they have 1 million Chelsea fans asking me about
Let me just bring that back again. Start from the
Chelsea.
You want to clarify something about Chiesa?
Yes, because we had rumors on Federico Chiesa, and they have 1 million Chelsea fans asking me about Chiesa. Guys, the rumors start because we know that Thomas Tuchel loves this player. He thinks that Chiesa is one of the best wingers in the game. He's a modern player. So Tuchel would love to have Chiesa at Chelsea, and this is something true. At the same point, guys, Juventus are not planning to sell Chiesa. Yeah. Juventus are not speaking with Chelsea. People close to Chiesa are not speaking with Chelsea. So as of today, there is nothing. There is a lot of
Chiesa
appreciation
is the center
for Chiesa.
of Juventus project. Also.
Juventus are in a very difficult, very, very difficult moment. If they sell the Italian best player they have, maybe one of the best players they have for the future, with the Juventus mentality into his head, I think they do a real disaster. They complete the disaster they are doing in the last months. And so this is something that Juventus are not planning to do at the moment. Maybe let's see it in the summer, but at the moment Juventus are not negotiating with anyone close to Chelsea for Federico.
Liverpool, how are the things going with
Okay, so look, Fahim is saying, Miz, is it a video? It wasn't a video. It was actually from Spotify, but it actually had a picture. For some reason, that picture just went away. I don't know why. But basically what Fabrizio Romano was saying that Thomas Tuchel really loves Chiesa. Really, really loves him. This news, no one better than Fabrizio Romano, you know, Italian connection, knowing Chiesa, Juventus, all the links that they have. I don't for 1 second not believe that Thomas Tuchel wouldn't have shared his feelings or his aspirations of liking a player like Chiesa. So completely believe when they say that Thomas Tuchel really loves him. And this is the tweet from PYS, which is straight from Fabrizio Romano. Here we go, podcast. Thomas Tuchel loves Chiesa. He thinks he's one of the best wingers. As of today, there is nothing. Let's see in the summer. But as of now, Juventus are not negotiating with Chelsea for Federico Chiesa. Now, I've got Aloisi saying here, Fabrizio just shut the rumors down. I knew Chiesa to Chelsea wasn't happening. Don't say that, my man. I wouldn't just give up yet. Everything starts off like this, where, there's nothing happening. And then sooner or later, things escalate very, very quickly. I think Chiesa would be interested to join. I think Thomas Tuchel is probably looking at revamping the forward pack next season, and Chiesa is probably on top of the list. Thomas Tuchel has now seen Chiesa face-to-face twice because we've played Juventus. And the fact that he likes Federico Chiesa a lot will go a long way. And yesterday, if you'd seen all the different rumors, all the different publications, all the different links that I shared, and things that Chiesa is doing as well in Instagram, all of these sort of compounds, and it makes me think there could be something here. Once again, whether it happens or not, we don't know, but there could be something here if they push. The thing that Fabrizio said is that Juventus are in such a bad position, especially this month with all of the investigation stuff that's been coming out in the surface. If they were to somehow lose a player like Chiesa, that would complete, this is what Fabrizio Romano was saying, that would complete their disaster for this particular season. Because Fabrizio Romano believes someone like Chiesa is the heart of Juventus, understands Juventus, is like a symbolism for Juventus. So Juventus wouldn't want to sell a player like Chiesa, but it's not always on Chiesa. If Juventus doesn't make top 4 and doesn't feature in the Champions League, well, Chiesa will think about his situation very, very deeply. It's not often you get the opportunity to leave a club and go to a top Premier League club like Chelsea. I know Juventus is a very good club, but at the moment, financially in Italy, they're not in the greatest place. Juventus is most likely going to get done in this investigation. They're most likely going to get ripped apart. They're not going to make the top 4 either. I don't think so. So, someone like Chiesa will have to think that, do I let go of this opportunity? Or do I grab it with both hands and go to Chelsea, play for a manager like Thomas Tuchel? And let's face it, Allegri is not doing anything in Juventus. His way of football is sort of becoming a bit backdated in Juventus. So why would you give away that opportunity if a manager like Thomas Tuchel is knocking on the door? Why would you do that? Especially with all the talents that we have as well. All the young talents, the young graduates coming from the academy. Romelu Lukaku's there as well. Why would you want to miss out on that opportunity to play with such high quality players, compete in the Premier League, be seen by millions and millions and millions, compete in the Champions League because Chelsea will be there? Our squad is so young, we should be competing against, the big dogs of European football in the Champions League for many, many years to come. And Chelsea really isn't a stepping stone of a club. We're proper European super club. So why wouldn't Chiesa want to do this? Why wouldn't he want to do this? And when you look at all the different clubs out there in the world, you'd think Chelsea's in the mix. Chelsea's definitely in the mix to dance with anyone financially. Liverpool won't be able to afford a player like him. City perhaps, but is he a Pep type of a player? Probably not. PSG, you've already got Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. Mbappe is probably leaving, but is PSG gonna be bringing in Chiesa, and when you still have Messi and Neymar, it's probably going to be benched. So this could well possibly happen. Let's see what you guys are saying. We'll move into the Christensen story very soon. Advaita Sharma said, he said at the moment. There you go, at the moment. It's very key. These transfer gurus, they know exactly how to word their situation so that, they keep themselves open, I suppose. Timo never runs towards the goal. You see other players cut across, players either get brought down or a decent chance. Exactly. Timo always has this tendency of going away from goals, and I don't know why he does that. The Blue Indian, thank you so much for joining. Not coming in Jan, that's for sure. Yeah, this type of a transfer won't happen in Jan. No way it will happen in Jan. This is more of a summer thing. But I think conversations will probably happen now. So by the time summer comes, we can get to a solution. Advetya Sharma, it is a possibility. 100% think it's a possibility as well. Philip, do you think Juve would do a swap deal with Werner plus cash for Chiesa? I think Werner would want to go back to Germany. I think that's where he feels comfortable. He probably wants to go back to Germany, and he probably will feel at home. So I don't know if he would want to go back to go to Italy. Werner plus cash, we would probably agree with that, but I don't know if Juventus would agree with that. So yeah, that's highly unlikely. Prima, instead of Chiesa, I'd go for Rafinha from Leeds. He's Premier League proven, takes set pieces well. His scores and his long passes are amazing. Yeah, I don't mind Rafinha at all. I like Rafinha. I like Leeds, to be honest. I watch a lot of Leeds. I like the way they play. Obviously, this season they haven't been that great, but Rafinha is a very, very good shout. I think Liverpool might be after Rafinha, and that would actually strengthen them a lot. That would seriously strengthen them a lot. Oluwesi, I agree, Miz. Things happened with Lukaku and Hakimi. Yeah, exactly right. Aka, Chelsea have defo talked to Juve about Chiesa. We were talking to them about De Ligt. Definitely spoke to Juve about multiple players. 100% agree on this. 100%. Kunal, 20 million plus Roman's personal legal advisory team. Doubt Juve's personnel would say no to that. Yeah, look, we'll have a lot of cash if we let go of Timo. I'm sure maybe some other players might be leaving as well, and then there'll be money in the bank. I don't even think Roman will have to tip in anything. And if Juventus gets into the mess of that investigation, gets relegated or gets points deducted, misses out on the Champions League, we could probably get Chiesa for a lot less price, because then it gives us the that bargaining power, I suppose. For him, Chiesa reminds me of a Rashford type of player, heavy metal style. Yeah, I guess robust, has a lot of pace. But I think Chiesa, I would say, is a better finisher. I mean, I'm not disrespecting Rashford's finishing. I think Rashford is a good finisher as well. But probably Chiesa is a slightly better finisher. I mean, this is just my opinion, and I'm just nitpicking at the moment, to be honest. The Undertaker CFC, there has been talks with Chelsea. Fact. Ladies and gentlemen, we're only 8 likes away from 50 likes. We've got over 110 people live right now. Let's get to 50 likes straight away. If we can reach slowly towards 100 likes, I think that'll be fantastic. That's always been the goal of the stream. Every time I do the stream, try to hit 100 likes. And you guys are always here supporting the channel. So please, let's get the likes up to 50. Only 6 more likes to 50. We're going to talk about the Christensen situation very soon in details. A lot to talk about there. And if you're here for the first time as well, subscribe. Someone just said, I need to bring this particular comment out. Hate said season. Miz, stop bringing more hate on Werner. Embarrassing. You tell me, ladies and gentlemen, am I bringing hate on Timo Werner? Or am I just having a conversation about the situation? Anywhere in this stream, have I actually brought hate on Timo Werner? I want to hear from you guys. This is what I sometimes get so annoyed in our fan base, that I've not even said a single derogatory word about Timo. I've not insulted him. I've not abused him. Yet certain fans will come here and say, don't bring hate on him. How are we meant to have a discussion then? How are we meant to have a discussion about a particular scenario? What should we talk about this particular scenario? So let's not even talk about it. Let's just forget it. The fact of the matter is he's not been good enough. The fact of the matter is Matt Law, who's a Chelsea correspondent, is saying that there is a high possibility that Timo Werner will leave. Why is someone like Matt Law saying that? Obviously, he would have heard something in the inside that I think even Timo is entertaining this situation. So it's not me bringing up this topic. It's the player itself, Chelsea correspondents. I'm just basically elaborating on the news and just providing my opinion on it. If you think that's bringing hate on the player, my man, we might as well just shut down. And these sort of discussion points allows the rest of the fan base, we've got over 120 people live right now, allows each and every one of you guys to provide your opinion and we can have a really good discussion. So we should all look at it as a discussion piece as opposed to bringing hate, which is not at all what we're doing here. So yeah, that's about Timo Werner, Chiesa. I have a strong feeling Timo Werner, this is probably his last season, unless something drastic happens this season where he balls out, scores a lot of goals, becomes a key component, develops on his deficiencies, and then maybe he stays on. But if not, I think he's going to go. As I said, there's going to be a lot of striker movement at the end of this season. Erling Haaland leaving Dortmund is going to be a big push for Dortmund finding a striker. So there's a hole there. Lewandowski possibly leaving Bayern Munich. This is what Matt Law was saying as well. Apparently, some of the Munich insiders have been saying this as well. So that would mean Bayern Munich would need a striker. So then someone like Timo, it's too much of an opportunity for him to go back to Germany, especially Bayern Munich, and play for them. So that will then open the gates for us to go for someone like Chiesa. And I'm 100% in the belief that there is something there in this Chiesa situation. Abhinav is saying, Miz, talk about the lineup for Watford. I've done the preview, so I will share the link here very soon. You guys can go and check out the lineup. I've got my lineup there. But let's talk about Christensen now, ladies and gentlemen. Big news about Christian. Miz, check CFC PYS tweet. What did he tweet? Give me 1 second, guys. Seems like some breaking news. True. I love how Christian Folklore. True. Ralph Rangnick wants to discuss a transfer of Timo Werner to Man United in summer. Rangnick brought Werner to Red Bull Leipzig from Stuttgart and pushed his career. Rangnick is also close to Thomas Tuchel, official of Chelsea. Look, there you go. More stuff coming out. I don't think he's going to move to Man United. I personally don't think he moves to Man United. What's the difference moving to Man United and staying at Chelsea? Your deficiencies are not going to go away. It's still the Premier League. As much as Rangnick, he's got connections with Timo Werner. Obviously, he knows him from the Leipzig days and from Stuttgart as well. But for me, if you're going to move to Man United, you might as well just stay at Chelsea. And why would Man United want Timo Werner? Who are they? I mean, look, yes, for the work rate, he's a workhorse, Timo Werner, no doubt about that. But you got Ronaldo, you got Cavani, unless you're letting go of Cavani. You've got Greenwood, you've got Rashford. Yeah, you'd have to let someone go. You would have to let someone go. So I wouldn't completely believe on this one. I mean, yeah, sure, there could be something there, but I don't think Timo Werner would be going there. I think if he has an opportunity, he'll probably go back to Germany, and he'd probably want to play for Bayern Munich. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 123 of you guys live. Smash the like button. Let's get the likes up to 70 straight away. 15 more likes to get to 70. We're going to talk about the Christensen situation now. Let's get to 70 likes, which is 15 likes away. I think we can get there straight away. So let's do that. If you're here for the first time as well, subscribe. And please, guys, follow me on Instagram. I'm really trying to build that Instagram platform as well. Adam Newson broke this story yesterday. Thomas Tuchel confirms Andreas Christensen hasn't featured in the last 3 games due to his contract standoff with the club. We have the hope it influences the contract situation a little bit, Tuchel said. More below, and it's worth reading. Basically, what the article goes on to say is Thomas Tuchel reveals why contract standoff has cost Andreas Christensen starting Chelsea role. There's a few important things that I want to just quickly touch on before my screen's just gone mad. Hello. Why does it do this? It's insane. Come on. Complete screen's just frozen. Here we go. Now it's back. Okay. Let's see if we can just bring this up. Yeah, this is the important point. Oh, man, stop skipping like that. My understanding was in a very short period, we would have good news. I said around the international break that for me, it is a matter of days that we think we can give a good news about Andreas. As I understood, the club wants the same, the player wants the same, and the coach wants the same to say. That's why we need the commitment and we can continue. Looks like, no, the opposite. Tuchel said with a chuckle, we have to hope and influence the contract situation a bit. Look, I think Thomas Tuchel is really, really upset. Somewhat annoyed about this particular situation. Just going to bring this up as well from PYS. Andreas Christensen's situation. Both parties agreed 5 years. AC and his camp then wanted 3. Chelsea proposed 3 instead of 5, but it's still not been signed. Tuchel frustrated and picking Chalobah. Rudiger never changed his mind so far, so situation isn't the same. So bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, with this whole situation about Andreas Christensen this is how I understand it. Christensen initially got 5 years from Chelsea because of his, great achievements over the last 12 months. Champions League and under Thomas Tuchel, he's been brilliant. In the back 3, he's been fantastic. One of our standout defenders. Silva, Rudiger, Christensen, absolutely standout, right? Chelsea gave him 5 years. And I think this is what all the journalists a long time ago, your Matt Laws, your Simon Johnsons, your Nizar Kinsellas, everyone has said that, Christensen's contract is done and dusted. It's going to happen very soon. Because at that time, it was believed that there was a verbal agreement between the club and the player that the 5 years was agreed. But then for some reason, Christensen turned around and said, hold on a minute. I actually don't want the 5 years. I want 3 years. It could be because he's sort of playing the game, thinking, if I do a shorter term, then I open myself up for a better contract down the track, or I can also open myself up for going elsewhere because it's easier to negotiate a short, like when you have a 3-year contract as opposed to a 5-year contract. So if you want to go elsewhere and absolutely make a lot of money elsewhere. Considering he keeps playing really well for the next, 3 seasons, which in his mindset, he thinks he will. So if it's a shorter contract, he can go from, let's say, I think he's currently on 70, he'll go to 140 with the shorter contract. And then 3 years later, he can maybe demand in excess of 200,000, 250,000. But if it's a longer contract, 5-year contract at 140, he's sort of thinking, well, by the time that happens, I'm going to be in my 30s. Is Chelsea going to give me another contract after that? Maybe not. Maybe that 1-year extension. Am I going to be able to get a good contract elsewhere? Probably not. So he wanted 3. Chelsea looked at this situation and said, you know what? You want 3? No problems. We'll give you 3. We oblige. We'll give you the 3 years. And even then, Christensen is still stalling, because Thomas Tuchel, literally a couple of press conferences ago, was saying, Rudiger's situation's a bit complicated. We're hoping for the best, but Christensen, we're hoping for some good news very soon. This is what Thomas Tuchel said literally a couple of weeks ago, or before Christensen wasn't playing for the past 3 games. And now Thomas Tuchel comes out and says, well, actually, it's the opposite. I thought we were going to see a good news, but it's not happening. And he's now categorically has come out and said, the reason why Christensen hasn't been featuring the past 3 games is because Thomas Tuchel wants to fast track this situation. He wants to show Christensen that you agreed, and then you didn't agree. Then you came back with a counter. We also agreed, and now you're still stalling. And you keep saying that you want to stay at Chelsea, you want to be here, you love the club, you desire to be here. Then what's the issue? And this is what Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference yesterday, that you've got to walk the talk now. You've been saying that you love Chelsea. Now you got to walk the talk. And the dropping has been to fast track his decision making a little bit, that look, we're not messing around either. We're Chelsea Football Club. Don't take us for a ride. We've given you what you wanted, and it seems like it's still not good enough. So, in all honesty, I like how transparent Thomas Tuchel is. I like he's come out publicly, because he doesn't want to be put in the mud. Because a couple of weeks ago, Thomas Tuchel said that we've got some good news coming up soon, hopefully. So now he doesn't want to look like the bad guy that, we don't have any good news. So he's saying why the good news isn't coming is because of Christensen. He's stalling. Thomas Tuchel will do everything possible to save the player, for sure. But in this situation, he needs to save the club. Thomas Tuchel is making sure the club's image is kept clean here, that club has done everything possible for Christensen. And this is why I always say, it's not always the club's fault, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we jump the gun and we say, but my club, they don't know how to do business. They don't know this, they don't know that. But it's not always the club. We've got a player, Christensen, who's very smart, and that's fine. It's fine. But maybe sometimes over smart will get you in trouble, my man. What Christensen is doing, I think, and this is just my theory, he's in his last year of contract. He's probably going to wait around till January, because in January, he'll probably be able to get into some pre-agreements with other clubs if there's some offers. So he doesn't want to commit to anything with Chelsea if he gets another club coming in and paying ridiculous amount of salary. And he may consider that. From his perspective, fine. Cool. But be open about it, man. Be open about it. Don't be saying to Thomas Tuchel and the club that I want to stay in the club. You've already agreed on the initial 5 years, then you've reneged. Then you wanted different demands and you got it, and it's still not good. This is where the issue is. This is why Thomas Tuchel's not upset with Rudiger. This is why Rudiger is still playing every single game. And now in recent times, Christensen isn't, because Christensen has reneged on his words. Christensen has changed the goalpost. Goalpost was here, and now the goalpost is here. Whereas Rudiger, he's been constant. He's been saying that I want to stay at Chelsea. I want to find a solution, but I want X amount of money. And that X amount of money is not something Chelsea wants to match. So there's no hidden agendas here. There's no secret here. It's clear. Rudy wants to stay. He wants X amount of money. He's not getting X amount of money. And negotiations will continue. And on top of that, in January, Rudy is also open to getting contracts, pre-agreements from other clubs elsewhere. And he could possibly get a very bumper deal. Christensen's probably thinking the same way, but his words weren't honest from the get-go. So for me, I'm all okay. I wanted Christensen to stay. I thought he was going to be the future of our defense moving forward. I was under the impression that someone like Rudiger is probably going to leave. I've sort of given up on that situation. I feel like Rudiger is probably going to leave because we're not going to find a solution. I pray we find a solution, but we may not. So I thought Christensen will stay. He becomes the future. He becomes the face. Players like Chalobah, Silva's still there for a couple of seasons, hopefully. We're bringing some more youngsters, and he can be the father figure down the track. But if he's going to act like this, you can go. You can go. And I don't want Thomas Tuchel to backtrack on his words now. If Christensen is still stalling on signing the contract, I say continue not playing him. Because what's the point? This particular player seems to be confused about Chelsea future. Seems to be confused whether he wants to stay here or not. So why should we be giving you the minutes? And it will look silly on Thomas Tuchel now. You've dropped him for 3 games and he still hasn't signed the contract and you're now going to bring him back. It will look silly on Thomas Tuchel because you've punished him and he still hasn't signed the contract. Now because you've given up, you're bringing him back. Well, he's going to be like, well, I'll win. I'll win, Thomas Tuchel. I win. You tried to punish me. It didn't work. I'm back into the team. And I'll do what I want to do. And I don't think we can have that. We need to have certain principles, certain protocols. So I'm not completely liking what Christensen's doing, in all honesty, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to check out some of your comments very soon, read them out and see what you guys have to say. We've got over 130 people live. Let's get the likes up to straight away 100. 30 likes to get to 100. If you guys have been enjoying this particular stream, let's get the likes to 100. It will be a great achievement. This is what I try and aim on a stream-to-stream basis. Let's get those likes up to 100. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Let's get to 80 and then we slowly move to 90 and 100. We are only 9 likes away from 80. So let's get those likes up straight away. Let's hear what you guys have to say, because for me, guys, some of these players need to be humble, because literally 12 months ago, Christensen was a player that most of the Chelsea fan base probably was okay to let go of, probably was okay to sell, because he did not look like a Chelsea defender. Rudiger as well, Jorginho as well, and so on and so forth, but we're focusing on Christensen. Christensen is playing the way he is got to do a lot with Thomas Tuchel. They need to understand. A lot of our players need to understand you are doing well because of Thomas Tuchel. And I want to send this message to Rudiger as well. Rudiger, I'm telling you, wherever you go, if you don't stay at Chelsea, it may be a back 4. And you may not cut it as a back 4. I've seen you, Rudiger. You're not the best, the greatest defender when it comes to back 4, because you just simply get caught out. Positionally, you're not sure which areas to cover. You become an erratic defender. You become a rash style of defender. You jump into tackles, rash tackling, clumsy tackling. We've seen that. We've seen that before. Similarly with Christensen, he gets caught out. He gets caught out in a back four. So if Christensen thinks that he's going to see similar type of success elsewhere, good luck. Chelsea's probably one of the finest clubs to be right now. Where would Christensen want to go? Barcelona? Barcelona is in the mud. It's going to take them a little bit of time to come back up. Real Madrid, perhaps. Yeah, not a bad shout. Real Madrid could be a good shout. He could be competing for the La Liga. Real Madrid's always for the shout for the Champions League. Yeah. PSG are highly doubted. They're stacked over there. Marquinhos is there, Ramos is there, Kimpembe is there, so on and so forth. And they play with a back four, so you're going to get caught out. Real Madrid plays with a back four as well. And a place like Real Madrid, if you get caught out, those Real Madrid fans are going to be killing you, my man. They're going to be after you. So you need to be wary. Your success has been a lot to do with Thomas Tuchel's, appointment at Chelsea. A lot of these players need to understand that if you want to continue this success, you probably want to stick around here. Some of these defenders, all of a sudden, they think they're superstars. They think they were this good all the time. And they think they're just capable of moving any different clubs and become a success story. I mean, good. You should think that way. But it may not turn out to be like that. Let's see what you guys are having to say about this particular situation. We've got Declared here. Good to see you, Declared. My man, big up Miz in the chat. Roby saying, in my opinion, Tuchel is not throwing AC under the bus. He's having a dig at Christensen's agent who's stalling for more money and occupying AC's mind somewhere it should not be. 100%, 100%. Nathan saying Christensen is giving us those ex-girlfriend vibes. Sportswire. So Christensen is not going to play until contract is sorted. I don't know. I mean, if the trend continues, yeah, that would be the case. I would find it very, very strange if all of a sudden Tuchel brings him in. Because then what was the point of not selecting him the last 3 games? Tuchel himself said the reason was to fast track the contract situation. You're not going to play until you sign the contract. So if he starts, then we would have to understand he signed the contract, right? Will Chelsea go for Kunda again? I think this is probably in the cards. This is probably in the cards. If we're going to lose both Christensen and Rudiger, which would be a shame, but it is what it is, we would have to go for Kunda. And we would possibly have to look at someone like Levi Colwell to come into the team next season and be part of the squad as well. So you get Koundé, you keep Silva, you've got Chalobah, you keep Azpilicueta, and you bring in someone like Koundé, bring in someone like Colwell as well and see what madness they're capable of. And you move. We could possibly go for 2 centre-backs, to be honest. Declared. Rudiger is gone. Christensen knows that Chelsea offer 29, 30-year-olds bad deals. That's why he doesn't want the 5 years. But I bet if he offered 7 years, he would sign it here. No one's going to be offering 7 years, my man. No one's going to be offering 7 years. So, yeah, that's something that's definitely not going to happen. The Undertaker saying Chelsea are going to have more talks with Rudy. Yep, apparently this is what Matt Law was saying. There are some more talks lined up in either this month or in January. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at that time. Big B Wolf, really disappointed with Christensen. He can go. Won't be a loss for us financially, but Rudy needs to stay. Yeah. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say he won't be a loss. I think Christensen's been amazing. He will definitely be a loss in my opinion. But I've got no sympathy for players that want to dilly-dally around, especially when you're not honest about the situation. I've got no respect for that kind of stuff. At least Rudy's been honest that he wants to stay. He wants X amount of money. And I think the club's being honest as well that they can't make that money at the moment. And we move on. It's no one's fault. That's why Thomas Tuchel is allowing Rudiger to continue to play. Because no one's being dishonest here. Whereas Christensen is being dishonest. Eke saying, agree with you, Miz. The Blue Indian, thank you so much, my man. Guys, 135 watching. Please like the stream to show support to Miz and our club. Thank you so much, my man, honestly. Please, guys, we're nearly up to 80. One more like to get to 80. And after that, let's get to 90. It'd be great to get to 100. We're only 20 likes away from 100. We've got over 133 people. So let's get to 100 likes straight away. We've got 83. So it looks like we're getting a good bump up now. 17 more likes to 100. We're going to look at some more comments. Shubha Jyoti Roy, yes, agree with you, Miz. Fayaz Fardeen, one of Christensen or Rudiger will go. Christensen game time is in his hands, up to him to decide whether he wants to sign the contract. 100%. It baffles me that your contract situation is so deep in your head that you're willing to miss matches. You're okay to miss matches. I mean, is the contract that Chelsea provided that bad? I mean, this is what you wanted anyway. You wanted the 3 years, and you're getting the 3 years. What is it now? The money? But you were okay with the contract for 5 years as well with the money. And apparently it was double your money. At the moment, I think he's on £70,000 a week. And it was going to be doubled to 140. And I think that's a supreme jump, doubling your wages based on 12 months of good conduct, really 12 months of good play, doubling your wages. I don't see how that's bad. And if you continue on like this, you can demand for another new contract down the track. I don't understand. And he seems like he's happy to miss matches. It's almost as if to say that he'll wait around. He'll wait around if it means to get a good deal elsewhere. Yuli, the defense is settled. Constant clean sheets. Hopefully they'll all stay. The only defender I wouldn't mind leaving is Aspie. Wow, you wouldn't mind Aspie leaving. If anything, I'd probably want Aspie to stay. Matt Law, listen to London is Blue podcast. Matt Law had a lot of things to say about Aspie. Aspie, the last game against Man United where he didn't feature, Matt Law was at the game watching, and he said Aspie had this managerial vibe. He was alongside Tuchel, the assistant coach, geeing up the players, instructing players where to be and whatnot. Aspie could be a future manager, not for Chelsea, but he could possibly go towards that particular scenario where he would want to manage. I wouldn't want Aspie to go yet. I think his leadership qualities is much needed. Thomas Tuchel always talks highly about Aspie's leadership quality, and I don't want him to leave. We've seen when we let go of Drogba, Terry, Lampard, all in a quick succession, it kind of crumbled a little bit. You need to keep some of these leaders, and I want Aspie to stick around for a little bit longer until some of the youngsters can take up the reign. Reece James, Mason Mount. Same with Thiago Silva as well. Gustav, if both of Andreas Christensen and Rudiger go, then we need 2 new defenders next season. Our priority and transfer strategy will change. Yeah, of course. And I think the club understands that. That's why we linked with De Ligt, Kunda, and a whole heap of different names. Levi Colwell, don't forget, he's potentially going to come back as well. So, he's having a very, very good season at Huddersfield on loan. Calvin, Daniel, thank you so much for joining. I feel like he's taking advantage of the Rudiger situation. He probably knows that Rudiger could be leaving and is using this to his advantage. Now, this is probably another angle. He's probably thinking, well, if this big boy, bad boy leaves, I can demand more money. I will become the big defender of this football club. And I want more money. So, yeah, he probably is taking advantage of this situation. Maybe. Because if Rudy had already signed, I think Christensen then falls into the situation, well, Chelsea's not really pressed. I better just sign the contract right away. Right now, because Rudy's not doing it either, Christensen's sort of thinking, well, I don't want to do it either. I want to see what Rudy does. If he leaves, then I want to demand more money. It could be. It could be. AC could literally cement the CB for many years at Chelsea. No idea why he's stalling it. 100%. This is my thought as well. 100%. This is the Rabiot situation all over again. Yeah, man. 100% agreed. Jules, good to see you, my man. I think Rudiger will stay eventually. Look, I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope we find some sort of middle ground with Rudy, but we'll see. We'll see. It'll come down to the money factor. This is a fact with Rudiger. It's the money factor. We'll take a couple of more comments here. Check Simon Phillips' tweet. All right, here we go. What's going on? What's developing here? Guys, make sure you check out my preview for the Watford game. I would love you guys, 134 of you guys, 137 now, to go and check out my preview straight after this. I'll drop the link in the live chat. Would appreciate a like. Would appreciate you guys to watch it. And I've done my Chelsea predicted lineup over there against Watford, so I want to know what you guys think about that. So would appreciate that. Okay, here we go. What's going on here? Let's have a look at this one. Chelsea and Andreas Christensen are still in talks over a 4-year contract. Christensen wasn't happy with the 5 years with lower wages, wanted 3 and to negotiate again then. Wanted 3 and to negotiate. What? I don't understand what this brother wants. He didn't want the 5 with the lower wages. Okay, because it's 5 years on lower wages. He didn't want that. Wanted 3. And I think Thomas Tuchel in recent times was saying that we can hear some good news. So probably agreed on the 3. Or Chelsea gave him the 3 and now he wants 4. Make up your mind, man. Make up your mind. Check out Simon Phillips' response. Please tell me he's close to agreeing. I'm pretty sure it'll get done. So it'll get done. But we've heard this a few times as well, that it'll get done. Many Chelsea correspondents have said this. So let's see if it gets done. I'm hoping it gets done. But it's not a good look on Christensen. In all honesty, it's not a good look that he's playing around with contracts like that. He should be a lot more professional with contracts, honestly. Quite frustrating that he's had to. I'm all okay with people taking time to negotiate or, to make sure everything is done and dusted. But I get annoyed when people say that they want this, then they get it, then they no, you know what? Now maybe I don't want that. I want something else, and then they get that. And you know what? Now actually I want this. Just make up your mind. Be professional about it. Come here and exactly nut at what you want, and then agree on it. Yeah. So let's hope that's the case. I'm going to drop the link for the preview, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Watford game preview. Guys, check this out. I'm pinning it to the message, to the comments. Make sure you go out and check that preview out straight after this stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed this stream. As I said, make sure check out that preview for the Watford game. I've covered a lot of things there, especially the lineup. Would love to know what you guys think about that. Smash the like button here and there as well. And hope you guys have enjoyed this stream about Timo Werner, Chiesa, Christensen contract situation. And I shall see you guys all for the watch along. Make sure you're there for the watch along. I'll be there up and early for the watch along. Watford versus Chelsea. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Only 7 more likes away from 100 likes on this stream. So let's get those 7 likes. Until next time, everyone, take care and see you for the match. Bye.